You've only gone and downloaded a MultipleSources.net podcast. For more episodes of this show and a bunch of other content covering everything from NBA teams to professional wrestling, visit MultipleSources.net. MultipleSources.net. But wait! Act now and you too could join MultipleSources.net. Yeah, we're looking for people to do their own podcasts about different NBA teams. We're looking for blog authors, video highlight creators, basically anything you can think of to write about sports. You can kind of write or create to your heart's content. So if you want to help us and join this up-and-coming independent blog and podcast network monster, go to multiplesources.net. I'll stick something in the sidebar that says join us or something equally unfunny, so go and click on that. Join us.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to It's Always Sunny in Phoenix, a weekly podcast where we keep you up to date on everything Phoenix Suns basketball. Today we are going to talk about the draft lottery and what we think the Suns will be doing with those picks. And we'll get caught up on the playoffs and make some predictions about who we think we'll see in the finals. I'm Charlie, and I have Mitch and David with me today. Seems like it's been a little while since we've had the whole crew here. How's it going, guys?
It's good, just glad to have the whole crew here talking, even though it's a little pushed back than what we normally do, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm finally getting a little more settled. Got my new job. It's going pretty well, but I'm excited to be doing this right now.
Glad you got a decent internet connection out in the middle of that cornfield.
Yes. Me too.
All right, and before we get started here, we'd like to announce that we are still looking for a new writer. So shoot us an email at sunnyandphxpod@gmail.com, and we'll be in touch. And a couple noteworthy things other than that, Devin Booker made the all-rookie team this season, and he was actually the only guard to make the first team. And joining him are Karl Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis, Nikola Jokic, and Jahlil Okafor. And it's really been nice seeing Booker get all this recognition for his rookie season. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, third highest in votes behind Towns and Porzingis. Gotta love that. We talk about how much we like Booker to begin with, so it's not a whole big conspiracy. I mean, it could be. We would love that, but we love Booker, and I'm glad that he's on there as the only guard. Bam.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty expected, but when I first saw the all-rookie first team, I thought this actually would be a pretty scary lineup. It would be a little big, maybe a little slow, but those are all pretty good players. This is a really great rookie class.
Yeah, totally.
Even talking about that, just the first team, the second team wouldn't be that much of a slouch team either. You got D'Angelo Russell and Moutier. You got Justice Winslow, and then you got Miles Turner, and who was the last one? Willie Cauley-Stein. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's those guys aren't slouches either. So this class has been great.
Absolutely. Last year's draft class it ended up to be very deep, and hopefully that's how this one turns out too, with our 3 first-round picks.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
All right, then moving on, Jeff Hornacek signed with the New York Knicks to become their new head coach. Horny wasn't unemployed for too long. How do you think Hornacek will fit with the Knicks? What do you think, Mitch?
I think Hornacek is a good coach. I think he's gonna do pretty well over there. He's got Carmelo, so that's a good block to start with. He's got young talent in Porzingis. They have some work to do over there, but I think it's a good spot for him.
What do you think, David?
The guys on that roster aren't necessarily super flashy, difficult personalities. I mean, you could say that Carmelo could maybe be difficult, but I don't even think that's really true. So I think it's a good position. I don't know if I thought that he would end up at that job. I thought he might end up somewhere else, especially with Phil Jackson and the triangle and all that stuff. But now it sounds like they're not even doing the triangle, so which is a good thing. So I wasn't expecting it for that spot, but I think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, and a cool thing with Phil Jackson, back when Hornacek got traded to the Suns, Jackson wanted him on the Bulls. He was really trying to make a move to get Hornacek to go there. And it seems like Jackson's always been a fan of Hornacek. So it sounded like as soon as they knew Fisher was out there, looked like Jackson wanted to go to Hornacek right away. So that's cool. I love Hornacek. I really think things would have turned out differently minus the Morris brother drama. But I'm happy to see him find a head coach spot right away.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. And then what we're here to talk about, the lottery. The Suns ended up with the 4th and 13th picks in the draft. Nothing changed in the lottery, by the way. No one bumped up, no one fell down, so it went as is. And that put the 76ers with the first pick, the Lakers with the second, and the Celtics with the third. So what I was thinking we could all do a mock the top 4. So we'll talk about who we think these teams will take, and then who that will leave the Suns with, and why we think the Suns will pick them. Mitch, how about you go first?
Okay. So, first pick to the Sixers is going to be Ben Simmons. Ingram is great, but Ben Simmons is by far the best player in this draft. If they don't take him, I think they'll regret it. Second pick for the Lakers is going to be Ingram. He's the next best. He's got to put on some weight. He's got to get stronger, but he's good. The 3 pick, who the Celtics are getting, everything I've heard is that Bender is a lock at that 3 pick. I know people are kind of thinking like maybe they won't. Maybe they'll pick like Chris Dunn or Jaylen Brown or Jamal Murray, whoever. I think it's going to be Bender. And then our pick, the 4 pick, I think there's a lot of options here, but I think Jaylen Brown is a good one. He's kind of a piece that we're missing. He's a wing. He's a big guy. When I was covering college pretty close, everything I had heard was that Cal had the most NBA-ready players. So even though they didn't have the best season in the world, they had players who were ready to go. And that makes me pretty excited. So I would say Jaylen Brown would be a good pick there.
Cool. How about you, David?
Yeah, so definitely Ben Simmons, brought to you by StubHub. I just, if you go to multiplesources.net/Phoenix Suns, you will see a draft profile on Ben Simmons that I wrote and posted up on the 18th, where I kind of went over Ben Simmons. I watched this game. I kind of think he can be a Blake Griffin type of player, not as athletic, but I kind of see he's got the ball handling. He's got what seems like a very limited game offensively, which, I mean, the Clippers weren't called Lob City for anything. For nothing, I guess I should say. But I think that's kind of his comparison. I think with him, Saric can be either a small ball 4 or a 3, and then one of their big guys. I think that just makes the most sense for the Sixers. Brandon Ingram, I think, is a really good fit for the Lakers, so there's no surprise there. Third pick, I am going to go a little bit differently. There has been some talk about the Bender being the third, but now some drafts are coming out, mock drafts that have them picking one of the guards, the Celtics picking one of the guards at that 3 spot. I don't think it's the right move, but I definitely could see them maybe trying to go with another scorer like a Jamal Murray. I don't think Jamal Murray is going to have as much upside, but that might be an overcorrection for. I can't remember who said it, but someone said that Murray has been climbing so much because people are afraid that it's the Devin Booker phenomenon, actually, is what people have been calling it, because Booker did so well, and people think that role is different, even though Murray was not a reserve, really, for Kentucky. So I'm going to say Murray. I don't know if that's going to be right. Bender can easily go at that spot, but I'll just change it up a bit. And for that 4th spot, I'm going to go with Dragon Bender. I don't want to really pick him, but I think if he's at 4, I've been starting to watch a little bit of tape of him, and if he can develop into what he is, that could be a slam dunk right there.
Totally. I think Bender, wherever he goes, give him a couple years and he's going to be great. I don't know if he's going to be a Porzingis type guy right off the bat, because, man, 3-6 Latvia had a great rookie season. I just don't see that out of Bender, though. But wherever he goes, I'm sure that team will be happy with him in the long run.
And I like Bender because he's Croatian, so shout out there. But anyway.
All right. So I'll start off the same as you guys. I'll keep it quick. Simmons to the Sixers, because why not have another 6'10 plus guy there? And then Ingram to the Lakers. That's going to be a real nice fit for them. They've been lacking at that small forward position. Kobe kind of filled in there this year, but he's gone now. They definitely need someone to run that 3. Ingram, once he puts on some muscle, just puts on some weight in general, he'll be pretty serviceable right away off the bat. And then for the Celtics pick, I've seen these talks about them wanting a guard too, like David said. And latest news on Chris Dunn, though, he does not want to go to the Celtics or the Suns because of the young point guard situation there on both teams. And I think his agent is holding off giving medical records to both of these teams to really make them not interested in drafting him. So I find that an interesting move and surprised that an agent can even do that. So with that said, I'm going to go the exact same route as Mitch and go Bender to the Celtics. And then I think in this case, we'll take Jaylen Brown. He's got that pro body right off the bat. 6'7"? Yeah, 6'7", 222. That's great size for a 19-year-old kid. And that's kind of the fit of a Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard type size guy. And we've all seen what Justice Winslow's been doing this season. I think he's pretty comparable to that. Maybe a little more refined offensively, but not quite the defender. But I think he has room to grow on both sides of the ball. And he'd be a great wing for us. That's just my opinion. So with the 4th pick, I'd say we take Jaylen Brown too. And now let's move on to that number 13 pick. Getting kind of late in the lottery there, but it seems like there's going to be some good guys that will still be around there. David, what do you think? What do you like with this number 13 pick?
I've been kind of going back and forth on this pick, but I'm going to say 2 names that I think are just about are really good spots to go. I think if Skal is available, that could be really good. I know Skal has been dropping a lot. He was supposed to be a top guy in this class, but he's starting to get a little bit of a comparison of a Channing Frye because he's got range. He's a big guy that can shoot, and I kind of like that. If he ends up being a Channing Frye with more potential on defense, I think that's a good pick. So I really like that, and I think that's the guy that I'm going to really shout out at this spot. I think he's going to be available. I don't think people are going to really jump on him. And, if we're going Jaylen Brown, I think going with a power forward like him as our pick at 13 is a good spot to go.
How about you, Mitch? What do you like at that spot in the lottery?
It's I really like what David said. If we get Jaylen Brown, I think we have a couple options here. If Denzel Valentine is still available, that will be interesting because we could go with him. We could go Henry Ellenson from Marquette. He fits that power forward spot. He could play alongside Alex Len. two young, very promising guys. I think that would be exciting. Sabonis is an option there, maybe, but what's interesting about him is he decided to skip the combine. It's what I've heard about that is that the agent chooses whether or not the players go, and so reasons that he could have skipped could have been like maybe he's already got teams calling him saying, we are taking you at this spot for sure. You don't need to worry about the combine. Or, I mean, there could be personal reasons. There could be, I've heard that the physical, like medical testing you have to go through is kind of rigorous. And so some players will avoid it because of that. Sabonis will get drafted in the first round, so he doesn't really have to worry there. But that's an option, but I'm not sure if we will want to take him quite that high. I don't know, but I think Ellenson is the one that really jumps out to me.
Since you're the expert on Gonzaga basketball and Sabonis, I have a question for
Sure.
you. You know, at these combines, a lot of the testing has to do with athleticism, like vertical and lane drills.
Right.
Is Sabonis slow on his feet? Maybe does that have something to do
That
with it,
could,
or is he a
yeah.
pretty good athlete for his size?
No, I think that could have something to do with it. He's not a bad athlete. I mean, he's a really great player. But those are some of the knocks on him, that he's not super athletic. He's not super long. His block totals weren't amazing. His vertical isn't amazing. You know, he's still going to be a great fit somewhere, but those are some of the knocks on him.
Cool. And before I get into my late lottery picks here, I want to ask David why he didn't talk about Buddy Hield at all.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go Hield.
Chomping at the bit to take him number 4.
You know, I love Buddy Hield. You guys know this. I'm very excited when I'm going to be getting around to getting that write-up up. Love Buddy. Unfortunately, as much as I on the Buddy Hield at number 1, if we got the lottery pick or we got the number 1 lottery pick, he just doesn't fit. He basically is the Booker spot, and you know, we just don't have that fit for him with Bogdanovich possibly coming over with Knight. We've got Booker, and unfortunately, he just wouldn't fit. I wish he would. Trust me, all my heart, I wish he would, but it's just not going to happen. So I kind of see him getting drafted by a Mini or a Nola. So,
and he would be great in either of those places.
I know. I'm kind of salivating at the thought of a pickup pop with him and Cat or him and Davis, and I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, I have a buddy that's a Timberwolves fan, and we've been talking about how we both want Buddy Hield to go to the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for the Wolves, so I'd really like to see him end up there. But I have seen Buddy creeping up on some mock drafts, going 3 or 4 to the Celtics, or I think I even saw one with him coming to the Suns. But you know, with the Celtics, I see us being a better fit than the Celtics, though, with Thomas, Bradley, Smart. Do you really need another 6'4" guard? Right. I don't know.
I mean,
But
the
imagine-
idea is if they pick up a guard that they'd end up probably trading away like an Avery Bradley. And, I mean, you could look at Buddy Hield as their bench guard. I don't know if he really fits there. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? We don't know. We're not experts.
Imagine that.
Sadly, that's true.
That-
We are not experts.
That Timberwolves team with Rubio, Buddy Hield, Andrew Wiggins, Towns,
And KG.
or
Gorgie Dang.
oh my gosh,
Dang, yeah.
Dang, or what's the
Big Peck.
Slavic
Big
guy?
Peck.
Pekovic.
Big Peck.
Thank you. I was like Jokic, no, Pekovic. Yeah, that would.
How many guys in the NBA are named Nikola right now?
Like all of
There's
them
a
in the
few,
world.
right?
Mirotic, Pekovic.
Vucevic
There's a couple. Oh yeah.
Yep.
or Vucevic
Yeah, there are a
or
couple.
however you say it. I don't know. I'm
Is
bad.
Papa Nikolaou still in the league?
I don't know, but that is a great name. It makes me think of those that Vegas Vacation movie. What's the now I just forgot what it was. Papa Nicolau. Is that his last name on the fake ID?
Something
I think
like that.
yeah, Papa Nicolau. Something like that. But yeah, that's a great last name. Is he even in the league still? I know he had a stint with the Rockets, and then he was somewhere else this season.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's get back on topic here. I'll talk about who I think we might be looking at, and I guess basically I'd say any power forward on the draft board at that point, especially if we end up not taking Bender. I could see Scal being off the board before we get there, but I'm very interested in Deonta, I think you say it, Deonta Davis out of Michigan State, 6'11", power forward / center. He looks good. And then Marquise Chris, Ellenson, like Mitch talked about, and then Denzel Valentine is another guy that would probably fit in real well here. 6'6", he can play that 2 or the 3, and being coming out a senior, I don't really mind that. I think those guys have a better head on their shoulders, just basketball wise. A little better basketball IQ from 4 years of playing, especially playing behind a guy like Tom Izzo. So yeah, I think there's plenty of guys at that number 13 pick that we can get.
Real quick, I want to just piggyback on a couple of things you guys said. Real quick, I do like Ellenson as well. I just wanted to say I forgot completely about him. But I think that if we end up with Dragon Bender at 4, I think we try and go for like a small forward, whether it be mainly Denzel Valentine at that spot if he's available. I think we could really try and push for that. But I think if we go Jaylen Brown, we definitely go power forward.
Yeah, that's definitely the weak spot on the roster as of now. And then with that, I think it's projected to be the 28 pick or
28.
Wherever the Cavs end up. Any favorites from you guys?
I don't have a favorite, but Kostas Papanikolaou played for the Nuggets this year, but now he plays for a Greek team. It looks like.
All right.
But yeah, I don't really know there. The mock draft I'm looking at from Fox Sports has us taking Ante Zizic, if that's right, a Croatian center. I have never heard of him, and yeah, I have no idea who we're going to go with there.
How about you, David?
If Thon Maker is available, I could see us going there. Who knows really with him, but that would be someone to throw onto the D-League team and see how he develops at that point. I also kind of am okay with the idea of getting a draft and stash. There's I don't know, Peter Corneli, but there was another dude that is Serbian who there was some talk about. I don't remember his name. I know that Hernan Gomez. There's been talk about him in this mock draft I'm looking at. He's gone before then, but there's been some talk about him. I can't remember that Serbian dude, but there was one that was some sort of draft and stash. Basically, would not surprise me at that spot at all.
Totally. And Bryce Johnson is a guy that I see towards the end of that first round a lot.
Yeah.
And I've started to watch some tape on him, and I think he could be a pretty solid player once he puts on some muscle. I think that's really the only thing he's missing. He's a senior, almost 22 years old, so that might have something to do with how late he's being projected, but a guy like that would be a nice fit for us. He's 6'11", athletic, can get up and down the floor, scored a lot of his points in transition for UNC. I think if he's there towards the end of the first round, I hope we snatch him up.
There's a little bit of talk about him. There's been some mock drafts and stuff with a lot of him pushing up to late lottery to the early or right before the 20s, late teens, early 20s, around that spot. If Bryce Johnson is available at that 28, I would love that pick.
Yeah, I'm looking at Draft Express right now. It has us taking that Peter Corneli, 28, and then Bryce Johnson going 29 to the Spurs.
Ugh.
No.
Please no.
No.
Please
Well,
no.
okay, if it makes you feel better, the one I'm looking at has Bryce Johnson going 19 to the Nuggets, so that would be better.
That would be better.
I've seen him as high as 18, I think. So, who knows?
And then another guy at the end of that first round, probably butchering this, but Zo Kui,
Oh. The
7'2", has some range. I think I read somewhere just before we started, he's like the third most well-known basketball player in China, out of China. So I don't know who number 2 is. Yao's got to be. Is it like
Yao.
Stephon Marbury? Isn't he still tearing
No,
it
it's
up over
Kobe.
there?
Maybe, yeah.
Kobe
Yao
is
for
huge
sure.
in China.
Huge.
Huge.
But yeah, he's another guy towards the end of the first that I wouldn't mind the Suns giving a look. And with these 3 first-round picks, there could definitely be some trades going down, so that's something else to look forward to.
And I'm pretty sure his name is pronounced Zhou Qi.
Zhou Qi.
It's like close
Zochi?
Zhou, like almost Joe.
Zhou?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how that's pronounced.
Okay.
I mean, I might be totally wrong, but I think that's what's going on.
No, that sounds right. I think, yeah, I think that's right. I don't really, I'm no expert, but I worked with a guy who spoke Chinese one time, and he taught me a bunch of words. So
You're no
Sure.
expert, but you might as well be
that's
one.
no, that's my slight experience.
Yeah, that's nowhere near my wheelhouse, so
No, it's
thank you for the
it is
correction.
such a hard language.
Okay, so anything else you guys want to talk about for the draft before we start talking about the playoffs?
So we're totally gonna pick Yogi Ferrell, right? Because he has like the best name
Oh, it's such a great name.
besides Dragonbender. Like minus
Yeah.
Dragonbender, Yogi Ferrell might be the greatest name in the draft, in my opinion.
Dude, Dragon Bender though, that's
Dragon
Dragon Bender
It is cool.
is really good, but there's also a Cat Barber, which I think is hilarious name wise. So
Cat Barber.
Cat Barber.
Cat Barber. CAT cat, not like KAT cat. CAT Cat Barber.
That sounds like a
for-
terrible job.
Short for Catlin. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
piss.
Okay. Let's move into some talk about the playoffs. We're a couple of games in on the conference finals for this year's playoffs, and let's get into each series a little bit, make some predictions about who we think will be in the finals. Let's go ahead and talk about the Warriors and Thunder matchup first. The Thunder have to feel pretty good about themselves after taking that first win away from the Warriors at Oracle. And, that's all you can really ask for, winning one there and then going back home. So the series is tied up. What do you guys think? And how do you see the series panning out?
So I, of course, want to point out that I was the only one of us to pick the Thunder.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out there.
Yeah.
Picking the Thunder over the Spurs, that is my crown achievement. I can be wrong on everything else in the playoffs. But
I'll take my trivia win.
yeah. I had
You
to
can
have
have
something. I had to have something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was surprised that the Warriors won Game 2. I don't think so. I know everyone was surprised kind of that the Thunder won Game 1. There were a ton of people saying it was going to be a sweep. There was a ton of that. But I thought that Game 1 was really good, and Game 2 was really good the first half. And it was a lot of fun. Kevin Durant, ball handling. I love KD. I love KD a lot. The Slim Reaper is great. But something's up with his ball handling. He's making some bad decisions. I know that when things slow down, he's the better ball handler normally than Russ. But for whatever reason, he's had some really bad turnovers these last 2 games. And even in the Spurs series, too.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he has a lot riding on this, like, personally. With the whole talk about is Kevin Durant going to be as good as he is now without Russell Westbrook as a teammate? Should he leave OKC? I think that might be getting to him at some point. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's hard for me to comment because I've been out of the loop for so long moving. And last night I sat down and I was like, I am going to watch this game. I haven't watched a whole basketball game in so long. And like David said, the first half was pretty good and the second half was really boring. So I was like, oh man, hoping for a little closer game. But yeah, I was surprised the Thunder took game 1. And then I went to watch the Raptors-Cavs game tonight, and it was kind of the same way. You know, close in the first half, blowout in the second. So that's how a lot of these games have been, and it's unfortunate, but I think the finals should be good again, hopefully.
Yeah, that first game, that was really surprising. As bad as Durant shot, he was something like 10 for 30 from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But him and Westbrook, and I think it was Ibaka, they all put up around 25 points apiece or something like that. And when you get that much help, yeah, the Warriors are a beatable team. And that fourth quarter of the first game, the Warriors just, it seemed like they turned to desperation mode and did nothing but shoot 3-pointers for, 6 or 7 straight minutes of that fourth quarter, it seems like, and I think they only made 1. And when you live and die by the 3, that's going to happen once in a while. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed watching them struggle because that 3-pointer wasn't going down.
I think I've seen it at spots here and there during the season, whether it was in that Celtics loss when Harrison Barnes didn't pass it to a wide open Steph Curry to attempt to tie it and took the 3 himself. Yeah. I think it's especially with Harrison, with Draymond, and you could really see it in that second half. It looked like they were trying to play hero ball a little bit. And I think that really hurt them. I think game 2, they really got back to playing their style of play. But if those guys aren't just giving the ball to Steph Curry every single time, and even if he passes it to them, and unless they're wide open and they give it back, he should have the ball. They should not be trying to do any like dribble moves and all that. The only one that should try and do that is Klay, and that's mainly in the post.
Totally. I'd really like to see the Thunder take this next game when they get back home. I want to see pressure on the Warriors throughout the rest of this series, and if they make it to the finals, I hope the Cavaliers, well, assuming the Cavaliers make it, I hope they play them hard too. This could turn out to be a really fun Western Conference Finals and then finals. I don't know about this Eastern Conference Finals, though.
Unfortunately.
And also, shout out to the Stash Brothers. Those dudes have been manhandling the boards. They did it in that Spurs series. They did it in game 1 towards down the stretch where they were able to get some rebounds here and there and get those second chance points that helped put the Thunder over the top. But Steven Adams is getting beat up more and more, and he just keeps on going out there.
By fans, by...
Oh my goodness, I know.
Opposing teams, by everyone.
You know, Kanter and Adams are kind of like, they're pretty comparable to a mullet. Business up front, Kanter looking pretty smooth with the clean cut hair and the well kept mustache, and then the party in the back is Steven Adams, man. He just lets it all out.
Yeah, he's got the tattoos, the curly mustache. I like that.
Also,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, hold on, just real quick. There is a lot of stories about Steven Adams out of New Zealand and stuff. Apparently, when he was like 15, before his dad died and all the family stuff knew and everything, he was like living on the streets and like malnourished and like all that stuff. Like, there's some crazy stories out there about like how Steven Adams grew up and some great videos. So probably look that up, because I think if you haven't seen it, you'll probably grow to kind of love Steven Adams as a player, even though he gets under everyone's skin on the court.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome then. It's great to see guys come from places like that and be able to, change it around so much and support their families, It's awesome.
yeah, for sure. I'll definitely have to do a little more research on that. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Steven Adams is just a guy you really want to be on your side, because he gets everybody going. And I think him and Bogut, isn't there a little bit of a New Zealander Australian type rivalry still alive?
I'm sure.
I think those two butt heads quite a bit. So that's been fun watching them bang down low.
Don't ask the reporters about that, because they apparently have no idea. And someone asked Bogut if Steven Adams being good was good for Australia. So, gotta love that.
Yeah.
Ew. That's rough.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the Cavaliers-Raptors series. The Cavaliers just won. They beat the Raptors. Final score of 108-89, so they're up 2-0 in the series. And the Cavaliers are really hitting on all cylinders right now. And it's going to be tough for the Raptors to put up a fight and get a game against these guys. It looks like they might have pretty smooth sailing into the finals. What do you guys think?
Kevin Love still hasn't lost a playoff game. That's pretty amazing. The Cavs are good. It's pretty amazing.
The Cavs are good, but I really want to see them go up against like a really good defensive team, which I think both OKC and Golden State are. Mm-hmm. I know that the Hawks were supposed to be good. There was nothing about their rotations when I watched that series that said they were good. All their rotations looked awful. So, I mean, the numbers may have said it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I want the Raptors to win this series. Are they going to? No. Could they get a game? Hopefully.
Yep, that's how I feel too. I'd really like to see Lowry put together another great series. He ended that last one against the Heat playing so well, and I think he had a pretty rough night tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the stats, but yeah, him. If the Raptors were to win a game, it'd mean DeRozan and Lowry both playing great games. And I wish they had Valanciunas.
I know.
I really wish they still had him available.
Yes.
That could be a
He's
bit of
a
a
game
difference
changer.
maker in that series. Yeah, a
Yeah.
game changer for sure. So let's talk. Well, we all assume the Cavs are going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys see the Thunder and Warriors series ending up?
I think I had Golden State in 6.
I was just about to say that too, actually.
I think that's
Warriors in 6.
that's the line that I like the most. I would love for it to be a 7-game series, but I think 6 is long enough. I just kind of see that going that way.
Yep, I agree with you there. I'd like to see, like I said earlier, the Thunder take this first one when they get back home, keep that pressure on the Warriors, and just hope for a really good series to watch. So let's just go hypothetical here. Let's say the Thunder move on. Who's going to guard LeBron James on that Thunder roster?
I mean, my first thought is to go KD. I don't know if they do that for an entire series, though, or an entire game. I could see him going on to him at crunch time. KD, I think, wants to shoulder that load of taking on the best perimeter guy on defense. I could see Roberson and Dion Waiters here and there. They're going to get crushed, but I could see that. And I think Serge is just way too slow.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
I wonder if they'll try that, though. Try putting Ibaka on him at all.
I think they have to. I mean, he's a better perimeter defender than Steven Adams. And they need Adams for his rebounding, or Cantor at that point, and Cantor's way too slow. Right. So, I mean, I would think you would go Serge and then put KD on Kevin Love.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's kind of the rotation I was thinking of too.
Well, and then Westbrook is going to have a pretty favorable matchup too.
I actually don't think. I think Westbrook ends up getting put on like either J.R. Smith or Iman Shumpert, and then putting Roberson on Kyrie for at least most of the game. Roberson or Dion Waiters. Both those dudes have been playing great perimeter defense and just defense in general. So I think those guys end up getting put on Kyrie if the Thunder make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Westbrook more
that
energy.
matchup would be pretty interesting, but I see the Warriors taking it too, and then obviously you'll have the matchup of Draymond guarding LeBron, and man, is that an explosion waiting to happen in the NBA Finals?
That's gonna be good.
Every time LeBron tries taking it hard to the hoop, Draymond's gonna be in the way, and it'll be interesting. That'll be good basketball.
I think it's the first time LeBron just drives to the basket. Draymond Green needs to have like a flagrant foul. Like first time. Just set the tone.
Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You're like, there you go.
The clothesline,
that's what's gonna happen.
Like some old bad boy stuff. Just like total clothesline him. That would be awful, but it'd be fantastic. The Warriors definitely match up, I think, really well with the Cavs. And the Cavs aren't super grindy when they don't have two bigs out. When they have Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson out, they're not nearly as grindy as they were last playoffs. It'll be interesting to see if they try and go back to a little bit of that. Because defensively, I don't think Kevin Love getting matched up either against Draymond or against Iguodala or against Barnes. I don't think his matchup against any of those guys is very good.
Yeah, totally. So we all agree on a prediction of Warriors versus Cavs for the finals?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's quickly go around, take it one step further, and predict how that will go. Mitch, you first.
Warriors in 7.
Ooh. David?
I'm going to say Warriors in 6.
Yeah, I think Warriors in... I'm going to go 7 too, because it's definitely the best team in the West against the best team in the East. That's kind of what we want to see at the end of the year, and I think it'll be worth our while to watch that finals.
Yeah, it will. Everyone wants to see 7 games.
Okay, let's start to wind down our show like we always do, and move into the non-sports related plugs. We missed this last week. Our show went a little long and we were without Mitch, so we just skipped it. So now that Mitch is back, I'll take a break on David and we'll go to Mitch first.
Oh. Well, I have a little more time to go over this kind of stuff this time. It's weird. Usually I'm like rushing through it. Like, can I talk about everything in 30 seconds? But okay, so I've been plugging an album that I've been listening to every week, and I'm going to continue doing that. This one is Found in Faraway Places by my favorite band, August Burns Red. This album came out about a year ago. I'm still listening to it. It's really, really good. My favorite songs on it, there's a lot, but I really like Martyr. I really like Ghosts, Majoring in the Minors. Everlasting Ending has one of the best guitar solos ever on it. even though it's from one of the guitarists from Between the Buried and Me, but still, it's still awesome. Blackwood is awesome. Yeah, those are my favorites. It's really great, and I moved across the country this past week and listened to that quite a bit on the car ride. So yeah, that's my plug. And it was funny because as I was driving, I listened to a bunch of different albums, and I'm like, I have to pick one of these for my non-sports related plug. So I had a lot of options, but that's the one I went with. So Found in Faraway Places. The 20th, May 20th, the instrumental version comes out. So if you're not big on screaming, grab the instrumental version. I'm going to get it just because I'll buy anything they put out. It's all amazing. And I'm excited to listen a little more closely to the instrumental stuff. So yeah, Found in Faraway Places, August Burns Red.
Right on. Good stuff. And David, your turn.
All right, so I actually have read a bunch of books, her graphic novel style things, the last week and a half ish. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick 2 books. They kind of go back to back. The stories go. It's 2 Flash books. They're called Flash Dead Heat and Flash Race Against Time. I almost forgot what it was called. They're both by Mark Waid. They go back to back. It's about, most Flash stories are about him having to run a little bit faster, but they have a little bit more stuff going on and a little bit more stuff in the background with relationship stuff and all this other stuff. If you are a fan of the Flash, or if you're a fan of Mark Waid, who is probably one of my favorite writers, definitely check it out. It's a really good read, and there's some fun stuff going on.
All right, cool. And for mine, I'm just going to give a shout out to HBO right now because it has 2 of my all-time favorite TV shows running back to back every Sunday night. So, first of all, Game of Thrones. It's been a great season so far. I'm not going to do any sort of spoiling, so if you're at all interested in Game of Thrones, get HBO Now or HBO Go, whatever you can get. Just watch it. Just binge watch it, all of it. It's great stuff. And on top of that, read the books. Even better. But other than Game of Thrones, Silicon Valley is a great show on HBO right now. It's about a tech company in Silicon Valley, obviously, and all the struggles they're going through trying to make the best of their algorithm that they came up with. And all of the characters are just great. The storyline's great. It's hilarious. It's directed by Mike Judge, the guy from Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. Just some classic shows there. And Mike Judge's humor is just on point. And that show it's great laughs. So every time after Game of Thrones, things get pretty serious on Game of Thrones. So it's nice to watch Silicon Valley after that and get some laughs out.
And Thomas Middleditch is on that, right?
Yes, sir.
He's just hilarious. We've talked about him on here before, but he is so funny.
And then the other character who's really coming into his own this season on Silicon Valley is I can't think of his real name, but it's Gabe from The Office.
Yeah.
Oh, I get some side-splitting laughter out of some of his lines. He's just so awkward. It's great. But yeah, Game of Thrones, Silicon Valley, HBO, check them out. And I think that's going to do it for this week. So be sure to check us out on social media. Follow us on Twitter under the handle @SunnyInPHXPod. Find us on Facebook under the name Phoenix Suns Multiple Sources. Hit us up through email with questions or suggestions at sunnyinphxpod@gmail.com. Head over to our website at multiplesources.net/Phoenix Suns and the entire Multiple Sources blog and podcast network. Thanks for listening. Check back next week, and we will continue to talk about the upcoming draft and maybe some potential free agent moves for next season. Enjoy the playoffs and go Suns.